Hello there, Dr. Bill Crawford here, psychologist, speaker, author of 8 books, host of 2 PBS specials, here again to bring you another tip on how to help you create the life you want. Specifically, how to use my life from the top of the mind philosophy to bring more clarity, confidence, creativity into everything you do. Today I want to talk about the concept of the past, how to resolve the past versus just find ourselves reliving the past again and again and again. Now, for those of you who follow my life from the top of the mind philosophy, you know the brain is kind of set up to actually relive the past. You know, when we learn not to touch a hot stove, or when we learn how to drive, and the brain just keeps reliving that and reliving that, that works very well for us. But when we find ourselves reliving a part of the past that isn't serving us, that maybe we didn't have the power to resolve when it happened, or maybe the knowledge or the awareness, then that kind of reliving just kind of re-traumatizes us. It has a tendency to have us feeling those negative experiences over and over and over and over, trying to somehow use that negative experience to somehow change the future or the present. What I suggest we do instead is access the best of who we are. I call it the top of the mind. Again, for those of you who follow my life from the top of the mind philosophy, you know I basically define the brain in terms of 3 parts, try to make it as simple as possible. Brainstem, that reactive part, upper 80% of the brain, the neocortex, that's what I call the top of the mind. This is where we have access to our interpersonal skills, our problem-solving skills, our clarity, confidence, creativity, compassion, etc. The middle brain's really interesting. That's the limbic system. It acts as a gatekeeper. Or in today's terminology, it acts as the scanner, processor, router part of the brain. In other words, data comes into this middle brain first, and it interprets it as either positive or negative. Anything negative, it has a tendency to misinterpret, sometimes as dangerous, and throws us into the lower part of the brain where we go into fight or flight. This is where we get angry, stressed, frustrated, annoyed, defensive, resistant, depressed, whatever. What we want to do is have this middle brain kind of interpret data in a way that sends it to the top of the mind, where we have access to our best interpersonal skills, problem-solving skills, clarity, confidence, creativity, compassion, etc. And how the brain works in terms of the past is really important, because what it does is it kind of gathers experiences from the past, both positive and negative, and kind of creates a reaction going forward. So one of the things I talk about in my seminars is the difference between reacting and responding. Reacting is reacting. It's acting the way we have in the past. Responding comes from the Latin spondere. It means to pledge or to sponsor. It's a more purposeful choice of how we want to be. So it's very possible that in the past, if we were little kids, we didn't have the understanding or the power to change the situation. We couldn't say, hey, Mom, Dad, I think you need counseling. Going to give you about, 2 weeks and then I'm out of here. We couldn't change the situation. We couldn't leave the situation. We really couldn't understand the situation because our brain wasn't developed enough to do that. So all we thought is somehow we're not enough. And we kept trying to be enough and enough and enough and enough, trying to please the powers that be so that we would feel loved and accepted and valued. Unfortunately, what that does is it sets up a reaction so that we find ourselves reliving the past and reacting in a way that continues to kind of please the powers that be, whether that's our spouse or our boss or the neighborhood association or whatever, the government, whatever. And that kind of needing to please puts us in this very kind of powerless perspective. Because as you notice, there's just times that no matter what we do, somebody's not going to be happy around it. So rather than continuing this old reaction, this old way of reliving the past, I suggest we resolve the past. And resolving comes from the concept of resolving. So we go back into that situation and solve that problem in a way that now uses the upper 80% of the brain, uses our clarity, confidence, and creativity, recognizing that we have certain influences over who we are, but we don't always control what happens around us, especially those people. So the more we resolve or resolve the past based on who we want to be and how we want to be, the qualities and characteristics we want to bring to life, what are we bringing to life? What are we pledging? What are we sponsoring? And that concept of kind of making sure we're choosing qualities and characteristics that we want to bring to life. When I'm working with people, I encourage them to make a list of 20 qualities or characteristics of you at your best. And some people go, 20? Because you might be able to do 5 or 7, but 20? So ask your friends, ask your family. But the reason you want 20 is because you want this middle brain, this limbic system that's kind of interpreting life before it gets to the top of the mind, to kind of see your value based on who you are, not just what you do. Because we can always be better and better and better at bringing our best to situations. And that has us resolving versus reliving the past, responding versus reacting, and puts us in a position where we're more influential in our life and the lives of others. This is what I get to go around the world teaching. I have a system that talks about how to get to this clear, confident, creative top of the mind. How to stay there, how to rewire the brain in, say, 2 to 4 months so that kind of becoming and coming from this top of the mind becomes your new habit. How to deal with other people who are resistant to what we're saying, arguing, whatever. How do you get them to shift from that resistant brain to that receptive brain so they truly hear and understand what you're wanting them to know? If you feel this would be valuable for your organization, your family, you, all you got to do is go to my website, billcrawfordphd.com, hit the contact button, let me know what you're interested in. Love to talk with you about that. If you're finding these videos valuable, please hit the like button. You know how folks love it when you like it. Share it with your friends if you feel that maybe helping them resolve the past, resolve the past versus relive the past would be valuable as well. In the meantime, I try to bring one of these videos to you each week, so I'll do the same thing next week. You can follow me on Facebook. You can subscribe on YouTube. Can kind of connect with me on LinkedIn, follow me on iTunes, Twitter. Try to kind of make sure all the social media is connected and covered. In the meantime, however, between now and next time, here's to you. Bringing more clarity, confidence, creativity into everything you do, including resolving the past versus reliving it. And I'll look forward to seeing you in the future.